Hello, I'm Fast Fred Ruddock of Fast Fred Travels, and this episode was shot in Ecuador, beginning at the airport, going to Carcelén bus terminal, and then onward to Otavalo's bus terminal. This video will cover how to travel from the international airport to downtown Quito for only $2, and how you can travel to Otavalo, Ecuador for just $6 from the international airport. So if you're here to learn about interesting travel tips and hacks, you're in the right place, so stick around. This video is made possible by all my viewers and especially my sponsor, Cat's Deli. So if you're in McKaysville, Georgia, drop in for a great breakfast and awesome coffee, as well as great small town conversations. I really miss Cat's, and I will certainly be there this summer when I return back to work on the Ocoee River between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I hope I see you there. And I also want to give a lot of thanks to all you wonderful folks who have come rafting with me. And now let's get back to the main event of what this is about: how to travel on a frugal budget and safely from the international airport at Quito, Ecuador to downtown Quito, and in my case, on to Otavalo.
All right, so I made it to Ecuador a few months along the way, and a little confusion going through customs, but no problem. Even though I've only been out of the country for 8 months, apparently that is not an issue. Thank you. And now, see the little break into thing. I'm splurging. I'm having a croissant and a cappuccino before I go catch the buses. So follow along, and I will be posting some videos about my problem with the onward travel issue in Guatemala, apparently Copa, and Panama, or maybe just Copa. It's extremely serious about onward travel, probably because they're one of the largest airlines in the world, and they're hoping they'll sell some extra tickets, I suppose. So I may have a bogus ticket that I'm not going to be able to use. We'll see. It's like, if I decide to come home in April, I guess I'm good to go. Otherwise, and more likely, I'm going to be buying another ticket.
You don't need to spend more than $6 to get to Otavalo, and it's only $2 to get to Quito. Frugal and wise travelers looking for safe transportation from the Quito airport would be wise not to overlook public transportation options. There are buses to the city of Quito operating from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. every day, while the buses to the terminal for onward travel and to other cities north or south operate from 6 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. Be aware, part of the reason the hours are different is most of the travel from the main terminals, the northern terminal and southern terminal in Quito, to other cities primarily operate during the day. At least that's my understanding. I prefer to travel in the day to see the wonderful scenery and the awesome mountains. If you tell them that you're not interested and you're trying to catch the bus, they'll probably offer you a trip to downtown Quito for a low price of $15. It happened to me. Of course, it's only $2 to get there on your own, so there's no need for the taxi. The buses are lined up just beyond the taxi line. Be careful while you cross the street there to the median where the buses are lined up. The traffic's not bad, but just be aware. And then select the correct bus. Your choices basically, if you want to go to downtown Quito, if you want to go to Quitumbe, the southern terminal for all points south of Quito, or if you want to go to Carcelén, which is for all points north of Quito. The bus drivers are very friendly, and if you turn and keep walking to your right, you'll see a kiosk that says public transportation. It might be written in Spanish. I read both. It's very easy to tell what it means. At any rate, if you go there, someone will certainly help you. Everybody's very helpful. The taxi drivers might be a little bit helpful, but their mission is to sell you a trip. They need to make a fare, so keep that understanding in mind as you navigate this area. So you're probably asking yourself, but where do I find these buses? It's super easy. Once you clear customs and you exit the airport, you will see throngs of people. Some are private drivers or they're tourist agencies picking up people or just friends. You know, they might be holding signs with some customer's name on it and such. As soon as you walk past them, you will see throngs of taxi drivers and they will swarm you trying to sell you their services.
So it wasn't very hard to find the bus right outside the door of the airport to go to Carcelén, the northern terminal in Quito. Pardon me, but I've been sitting quietly in a plane a while. It's hard to start talking now. At any rate, I'm on my way to the northern bus terminal in Quito, where I'll catch my next bus to my destination. Stay tuned. So far, it's $2 for this bus, or you could take a taxi for 15 bucks. That doesn't sound like a very good deal. And this is just some of the crazy landscape that you can see from the bus. Yeah, mountains are really tall. Valleys, well, they're rather deep. That water's quite brown.
And let me reiterate, if you want to stay downtown Quito, you want to catch the public transportation bus to Terminal Coca. Okay, word to the wise. Use reasonable caution when you're in bus terminals and around them. In my experience, bus terminals in Latin America are generally in nicer parts of town than those found in the United States. The bus transportation system networks are much more extensive as well in Latin America. But while you are navigating the bus terminals, use reasonable caution. Hold on to your luggage. Don't leave it unattended. I know that's common sense. If you feel like you're like going to nod out and take a nap, get a bicycle locker, a little cable lock or something, and lock your gear to your chair and try it. I don't sleep in these situations, but you could secure your gear. It's also nice to have one of these small cables to secure your gear in the tray or rack above the seats. I always put mine a little in front of me, just like when you're in an airplane. But in this case, I put it in front of me so I keep my eyes on it. There is a tendency, in some cases, never happened to me, that people have their bags slashed open to relieve them of their possessions. So that's why you want to keep it in sight. I also lock mine. I personally use backpacks that are reinforced with wire mesh, and I keep my valuables inside of that. I also use an Akoi dry bag from Watershed, and they are not easily slashed. I'm not going to say it's impossible though, and I keep an eye on it. That bag's probably worth $100 or more to me, even though it is 5 or 6 years old. Terminal Carcelén is a reasonably sized terminal, and it's not so big. You can easily survey the whole place quite quickly. But once you hop off the bus, you walk forward, and then you'll go a little to your right. The first kiosk or ticket counter that you encounter will be for Otavalo. You can buy your ticket right there, and it will cost you $4.
All right, so I made it to the bus terminal, Carcelén. I have my ticket to Otavalo. It was just $4. So altogether, this trip is going to cost me $6.
So you go over, you find the dock that you need to stand on. There's big numbers written up for each one, and they also have listed what city that dock serves. So even if you're confused, you can make it happen. Just relax. Once you get on your bus, don't let your guard down too much. It's safe, like I said, but either keep your gear right there with you with your hands on it, or put it up in the rack above your seat, and you might want to clip it in, or maybe even take a cable and lock it until you get to your stop. Just use common sense. It's pretty chill.
Here I am on the final bus to Otavalo. feeling pretty good. It's going to be a great day. And the bus is almost empty. Of course, it just got here.
Okay, if you went to this terminal and now you've realized that, oh crap, my destination is to the south, no problem. You can easily go over to the kiosks and buy a shuttle ticket to the southern terminal of Quimby. Okay, I'm butchering this. It's early in the morning and I need to get another cup of coffee. In fact, I'm going to take a break now and get it. I'll be right back. All right, I am now well prepared and armed with my fresh cup of coffee. This won't stop bloopers, but hey, I'm going to leave the bloopers in because I think they might be more entertaining. Hey, I'm trying to keep it real for you. Hey, on with the show. So, Terminal Quitumbe is huge. It's large. It's really modern. It feels like you're in a big airport. Except for there's a lot more ticket counters, and I mean a lot more. And they're a little different. They got glass over them. This isn't something because of the pandemic. They were always glassed in. I guess that's so that the ticket agent can run to the bathroom if they need to, and the place will be secure in their absence. Generally it's only one person in each booth. I have found this place extremely friendly. The ticket agents are great. I've even gone to the wrong counter and the people are so kind. They tried to point me in the right direction. When the ticket agent sells you the ticket, they'll try to explain to you how to go catch it, especially if you're a foreigner and they are concerned that you might get lost. I had one ticket agent was so kind, and I guess he had some spare time. He actually chatted with me a while and even walked me over to a big window and pointed out where I was going to make sure I made my way. And he gave me a cool cardboard cutout of their buses with the calendar on it, which I thought was really neat. And like I'm saying, don't get overwhelmed, stay calm, relax. There are lots of officials and friendly people that are there paid to help you find your way. You will get a ticket for the bus, an additional ticket for a turnstile. They are trying to control the area to keep it safe for you. So I believe you're probably paying a small fee for that service, but hey, there's turnstiles to maintain, and there's actually a human being there to watch it, and there's police around. When you walk on downstairs, down a stairwell, you'll walk out, and there's several rows of docks. There's like concrete sidewalks, and they all have rain covers on them, so you're out of the weather. And then there's going to be more people positioned around those to help you on your way and make sure you're not lost. And I found that the bus drivers are extremely friendly and helpful, and they will help you find your way if you're kind of lost. But again, there's big numbers, so you can find your docks. All you got to do is look at your ticket. It has the information on it. I'd show you mine, but I had to give it to the bus attendant while I was on my trip, so I don't have a copy. But let me suffice it to say, it is less than, pardon me, maybe I need more coffee. Like I'm trying to say, it is less confusing than going to the Miami International Airport or the Atlanta Airport, and everybody's a lot nicer to boot. So just take it easy. You'll find your way and get your bus. Use common sense and watch your gear. I've heard a few horror stories from fellow gringos about losing things. Don't let people help you with your luggage. If you're having problems putting an overhead bin, put it in your lap. I don't advise putting it under your seat because then it makes it more vulnerable to a potential slashing attack where someone cuts the bag open and relieves you of your possessions. But be aware that that nice person helping you store your bag up in the overhead, well, they might be relieving you of your iPad or something. That actually happened to a friend of mine. Name withheld. I'm not going to embarrass my pals that give me cool stories for y'all. At this section going forward is going to be kind of like an example in real life how I navigated from the Quito airport all the way to Otavalo using the bus system for a total cost of just $6. In fact, my coffee and my croissant at the airport cost more than my transportation. They were pretty reasonable too, because if I bought the same coffee and croissant in the United States in the airport, well, it would have cost me a fortune. I probably paid less than I would I probably paid less for my coffee and croissant at the International Airport in Quito than I would have paid if I'd gone to any Starbucks in the United States. Okay, this trip I flew into the Marcel Segura Quito International Airport from Panama City, Panama, after a couple of months in Guatemala, to give you a little bit of the backstory. Because I was flying from this location, I had an early flight and I arrived in Quito at about noon, which I thought would be wonderful for using the buses and being a tourist and enjoying the scenery along the ride. I quickly cleared customs and found myself a snack, as I mentioned. And then I went outside and quickly found my bus to the Terminal Carcelén as I was heading further north to Otavalo to meet up with some friends. The bus ride from the terminal to Otavalo takes roughly 2 hours. The bus ride from the airport to the Terminal Carcelén takes roughly 45 minutes. I think we got there even faster this time on my bus ride. I probably wasted more time lagging around in the airport than enjoying my coffee than it might have taken me to ride to the bus terminal to catch my direct bus to Otavalo. I know that's silly. Maybe it's making the video long. I want you to kind of get the real feel of what happened. The bus ride from the airport to Carcelén terminal took about 45 minutes, and my bus only had 6 passengers at any given time. It was really tranquilo. It was a lot more comfortable than riding in a taxi, for sure. It was very chill, had nice, great scenery along the way, huge mountains, deep ravines, big muddy river with rapids in it to look at for you river junkies, although I'm pretty sure the water's pretty polluted. Hey, if you've been to Quito, you would understand. The elevated view from the bus is far better than that you will get from sitting in the back seat of a taxi.
Oh, if only you could feel the G-forces. There's some really deep ravines too.
The bus ride to Otavalo was quite pleasant. There are only a few riders at the beginning. However, as we made our way and got closer to Otavalo, many other people started catching the bus to ride back to the city. And the bus got rather crowded, but not uncomfortable. I had 2 seats, so it wasn't packed. The stops do become more frequent, and progress slows as you approach Otavalo. But once this occurs where you're stopping really frequently, you know you're really close and you're going to be there pretty quick, so don't panic. Just expect the whole ride from Quito to Otavalo to take 2 hours, and just go with it, relax. Before I knew it, I arrived at the terminal in Otavalo, and I took the short walk from the terminal to Plaza de Panchos, enjoying the fruit stands and vendors along the first block. It's probably 2 blocks really. There's even a place that sells pork, and you get to see all the wonderful sights, and you also get to smell all the wonderful smells. The fruit really smells good, and it's really cheap. This is not the commercial Centro or Mercado. This is just a lot of vendors that are right there, conveniently located next to the bus station. I really find this part of town in Otavalo really nice, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not going to pay a taxi driver for the 6-block ride over to Plaza de Panchos. I want to enjoy the scenery and the vibe of the city. It's really cool.
And as you can see, I made it to Otavalo. I'm walking through the rather wet Plaza de Panchos, and I'll give you a bit more of a summary, probably similar dry about the trip. But suffice it to say, it cost me $2 to get the bus to the terminal in Quito, and $4 more to get to the terminal here in Otavalo, and then I walked into town to meet my friends.
And once I got to the Plaza de Panchos, I met my friends Julian and Cassandra.
Hi, Mom!
Wow, you stuck around to the very end, so you must have liked this video. So give it a like, give it a share, and make sure you subscribe. Share it with your friends planning to come to Ecuador, and I hope these pro tips help you save some money. It's only $6 to get right here in downtown Otavalo, Ecuador. $2 to get to the terminal, another $4 to get the rest of the way. So why spend $70 for a taxi? The best deal I've ever hawked at the airport with a taxi driver is $45 to get to Otavalo. Good luck with that. You better know some Spanish. Shout out to all my friends who support this channel. I really appreciate you. I'm going to put their names up on the screen. They're the guys who have come rafting with me and made generous donations. Also, big shout out to Katz in McKaysville, Georgia. I really miss Katz Deli. What a great place to have breakfast. They have awesome coffee that rivals that which you will find here in Ecuador. And you get some really good small town America conversation in the morning as a side to your breakfast.